So once again, Happy New Year to everyone. And the first session of 2026 is beginning with women. So very important people in our lives. I can definitely say that. So to begin with, let me ask you something. When you think of a leader, what image comes to your mind? Is it someone in a suit commanding a boardroom, or someone with a very deep voice and unwavering presence, or someone who never doubts, never bends, never shows emotion? And then let me ask you, how many of those leaders look like you? Think about it. And the truth is, leadership has been defined by those who held power first. But what if the most powerful leaders were the ones who rewrote the definition entirely? That's why today we are talking about leadership lessons from women trailblazers. I'm sure, and I know some of you are already, you know, created a mark in your lives and are leading by examples because you people don't wait for permission, didn't follow the rule book, and changed the world anyway. So let's talk about the trailblazers who rewrote the rules. Didn't wait for a seat at the table. She built her own. Throughout history, women leaders didn't lead the way men did. They couldn't. The doors were locked. The rooms were closed. The rules were written to keep them out. So they did something radical. They created new paths. I'm sure every one of you must have heard about Savitribai Phule, India's first female teacher. And we have a teacher here, Usha ji, the whole career behind her, and so loved by her students. But in 1800s, when women weren't even allowed to read, she walked through streets with stones thrown at her, carrying an extra sari to change into when she reached school. She didn't wait for society's approval. She educated girls anyway. Or Kiran Majumdar Shaw, rejected by breweries for being a woman, told she would never succeed. She didn't argue. She built Biocon and became one of India's most successful entrepreneurs. Or closer to home, that neighbor auntie who started a tiffin service from a kitchen when her husband lost a job and now employs five other women. She didn't wait for a fancy degree or a business loan. She started with what she had. And I'm sure you must have heard about the story of Lijjat Papad, all run by women entrepreneurs. And all those elderly women, actually, whom we feel, अब ये क्या कर सकते हैं? But they made the change. So these women share something powerful. They led with resilience, vision, and courage, not because they were fearless, but because they moved forward despite the fear. And here is the first lesson: leadership is not domination, it is influence and service. So we've been conditioned to think leadership means being the loudest, the toughest, the most authoritative. But women trailblazers showed us something different. Real leadership is this: it's Indra Nooyi running PepsiCo while still handwriting thank you notes to her employees' parents. It's influence through connection, not control. Mary Kom, a mother of three, becoming a world champion boxer not by abandoning her family, but by showing her children what dedication looks like. It's that school principal you knew who remembered every student's name, not just the toppers. She didn't lead through fear, she led through care that commanded respect. So, leadership, as these women show us, is about seeing what needs to change and having the courage to change it, even when you are the only one in the room who believes it's possible. Here's the uncomfortable truth: the world will doubt you long before it celebrates you, because the world is never able to celebrate the journey, it only celebrates the outcomes. When Kalpana Chawla dreamt of space, people laughed. When P.T. Usha ran barefoot on village tracks, people dismissed her. When Faguni Nair launched Naika at 50, people said she was too old. But they all shared one thing: they believed in themselves when no one else did. And here's what that looks like in real life: it's a 17-year-old girl who applies to engineering college even though her relatives say, लड़कियां engineering में क्या करेंगी? Is a 32-year-old woman who pitches for a promotion even though she's been told, wait a few more years. Or it's the 45-year-old mother who enrolls in an online course even though her family says, अब इस उम्र में क्या पढ़ोगे? Your belief in yourself doesn't require anyone else's validation. It just requires you to take the first step anyway. So, women trailblazers didn't play it safe. They couldn't afford to. They took risks that made everyone around them uncomfortable. They left secure jobs. They challenged powerful systems. They spoke up when silence was easier. And yes, some risks failed. That always happens. That is how life is. But here's the secret: every trailblazer you admire has a graveyard of failed attempts behind them. Priyanka Chopra was told she wasn't Indian enough for Bollywood and not American enough for Hollywood. She took the risk of being herself anyway. So here's your question: what risk are you not taking because you are waiting for the guarantee? Because let me tell you, there is no guarantee, there is only courage. And leadership means holding your ground when the pressure to confirm is crushing. When Sudha Murthy joined Tata as the first female engineer, she faced isolation, skepticism, and bias. She didn't quit. She didn't shrink. She stood her ground. When Gauri Lankesh spoke truth to power, she faced threats. She didn't back down. Standing your ground doesn't always mean fighting. Sometimes it means this: it's saying no to a toxic job, even when people say, at least you have a job. It's choosing not to laugh at a sexist joke in a room full of people who are. It's staying true to your rules when everyone around you is compromising theirs. Your integrity is the one thing no one can take from you unless you hand it over. So don't. Here is the final, most important lesson: real leaders create more leaders. Women trailblazers didn't just break ceilings, they held the door open for others. Nana Lal Kidwai didn't just become India's first female MBA from Harvard, the first woman to lead a foreign bank in India. She mentored countless women behind her. Menka Guruswamy fought for LGBTQ rights, knowing she would face backlash. She did it anyway, for those who couldn't fight for themselves. And you see this everywhere. Is a senior colleague who recommends you for a project even though she could have taken it herself. Is the mother-in-law who supports her daughter-in-law's career instead of demanding she quit. It's you teaching your younger sister how to negotiate a salary. It's you encouraging a friend to chase her dream. So true power is not hoarded, it's shared. Because when you lift others, you don't shrink, you multiply. So here's what I want you to know. You don't need a title, a corner office, or a stage to be a leader. You just need to start. Start believing in yourself. Start taking that risk. Start standing your ground and start lifting someone else up. So, leadership isn't something you wait to become, it's something you choose every single day. So, here's a challenge for you. Think of one woman alive or in history who inspires you and write her name down. Simple. And now write one quality she has that you want to develop in yourself. You will simply write one word. And then, now this is crucial, write one action that you will take this week to embody that quality. Yes, because without action, nothing can be achieved. So, action is primary. So, if it's courage, speak up in that meeting. If it's resilience, try again after that failure. And if it's service, mentor someone who needs guidance. One name, one quality, one action. And that's how trailblazing begins. Not with grand gestures, but with small, brave choices. The women who came before us didn't wait for the world to be ready, they made the world ready. And now it's our turn, in fact, your turn. So you're standing on the shoulders of giants, women who fought, who risked, who persevered so you could be here today. So honor them not by playing small, but by being the trailblazer the next generation will look up to. As I said earlier, she didn't wait for a seat at the table. She built her own. So I'm sure so will you. So, with that thought, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you.